My name's William Carver, a 54-year-old dairy farmer from the rolling hills of North Carolina, where the air smells of pine and honest sweat. My 180-acre spread, Carver's Rest Farm, has been in the family since my great-granddad churned butter by hand. Widowed 5 years now, I live for the rhythm of the land cows lowing at dawn, the creak of my old barn, and the half-mile asphalt road that ties my world to the state highway. That road isn't just pavement. It's a lifeline, secured by a permanent easement in county records, guaranteeing my right to use it no matter who owns the surrounding dirt. I never questioned it until she came knocking. The trouble started when Pine Hollow Estate sprouted up across the fence line. 60 manicured houses plopped onto what used to be cornfields. Their artificial ponds and matching mailboxes screamed city folks chasing a country dream. I stayed clear, and they did too, until Margaret Voss, the HOA president, marched up to my gate. She wore a tailored blazer, heels sinking into the gravel, and a smile that felt like a lawyer's handshake. "Mr. Carver," she called, waving a clipboard like a battle flag. "I'm Margaret, Pine Hollow HOA. We're inviting you to join our community." I was mending a fence post, splinters in my palms, and sweat-soaking my flannel. "Margaret," I said, squinting, "my farm's not part of your subdivision." Her eyes flickered, but she pressed on. "Your driveway runs through our managed infrastructure. Joining ensures maintenance, security, and alignment with our aesthetic standards." I set down my hammer. "Lady, this road's been here since before your cul-de-sacs. I've got a legal easement. You don't get to tax me for hauling milk." Her smile tightened. "William, resistance breeds conflict. Our residents value cohesion. Think it over." She turned, heels clicking, leaving a cloud of perfume and a knot in my gut. Weeks later, I caught an HOA truck idling at the road's mouth. 2 workers in neon vests were marking the asphalt with red spray paint. "What's this?" I demanded. "Repaving project," one mumbled, avoiding my gaze. I called Margaret. She answered mid-sip of something fancy. "William, we're upgrading shared roads. You'll appreciate the improvements." My voice rose. "Touch my easement, and I'm calling the sheriff." She purred. "We'll move forward appropriately." That Sunday, I found a sign staked near the road. "Private property, Pine Hollow HOA access only." I yanked it out, tossed it in my truck, and felt my pulse hammer. This wasn't about aesthetics. It was war. At 4 a.m. the next morning, the roar of heavy machinery jolted me awake. I threw on boots, grabbed a flashlight, and gunned my ATV toward the glow of work lights. My heart sank. A bulldozer was clawing up my road, asphalt chunks piling into a dump truck. Concrete barriers and steel gate posts lay ready, like pieces of a prison. 50 feet of pavement was already a jagged scar, blocking my farm from the highway. I stormed up to the foreman, a wiry guy with a clipboard. "This is my legal easement. You're destroying my livelihood." He shrugged. "HOA orders. Talk to them." I called the sheriff. A young deputy arrived, badge gleaming, but his hands were tied. "Civil dispute," he said, eyeing the gate posts taking root. "You need a lawyer." By noon, a sliding gate stood, its sign mocking me. "Authorized HOA vehicles only." Desperate, I tried an old ATV trail, overgrown and slick with red mud. My pickup fishtailed, nearly flipping. The next day, hauling milk to a co-op, the trail's rut snapped my truck's axle. Gallons of milk soaked the earth, $19,000 in product gone. The co-op cut me loose, switching to a supplier in Raleigh. Then, a courier delivered a lawsuit from Pine Hollow's legal team, accusing me of unauthorized infrastructure use, pavement degradation, and endangering community safety. They'd gutted my road, tanked my business, and now dared to sue me for their mess. That night, I sat on my porch, a shotgun across my knees, picturing their pristine mailboxes and splinters. Reason won out. I dialed Abigail Holt, a land use attorney with a reputation for chewing up bullies. Abigail's office smelled of coffee and old books, her desk stacked with legal pads like a general's war plans. "Lay it out," she said, pen poised. I told her everything: the easement, Margaret, the bulldozers, the lawsuit. She leaned back, eyes sharp. "They're banking on you folding. If your easement holds, they're sunk." She unearthed a 2002 county record, a permanent easement tied to my land, signed and sealed. "This isn't defense," she said. "It's an offense." Abigail filed a countersuit: obstruction of easement, business interference, infrastructure sabotage, and economic harm. We hired engineers who confirmed the road was deliberately wrecked, not maintained. I tallied losses: $19,000 in milk, $14,000 in truck repairs, and $60,000 to rebuild the road. Abigail installed an HD camera and hired a surveyor to map the easement with GPS precision. Then, a Pine Hollow teenager, barely 16, approached me at the fence. His drone had filmed the demolition, capturing Margaret directing the crew, shouting, "Tear it up before he shows." Abigail's grin was feral. "This is our smoking gun." We deposed Margaret in a sterile conference room. She swept in, lavender suit crisp, perfume choking the air. Abigail was surgical. "Did you confirm the easement's status?" Margaret faltered. "I assumed it was void." "Based on what evidence?" Silence. Her lies unraveled. Back at Pine Hollow, cracks spread. A resident's flyer warned of misused HOA funds. A local paper ran a front-page story. "Farmer battles HOA over ruined road." A newcomer, Emily Tate, wrote me, offering to testify. A former board member, Daniel Morse, revealed that Margaret funneled $90,000 from reserves for the gate, bypassing any vote. Abigail tipped off the DA. A forensic audit exposed fraud: $90,000 in unapproved spending, forged invoices, and payments to a shell company linked to Margaret's old real estate ventures. The DA indicted her on 5 felonies: embezzlement, forgery, wire fraud, fiduciary abuse, and conspiracy. Deputies arrested her outside her pristine home, neighbors gawking as cuffs snapped on. Pine Hollow voted to boot her and dissolve the HOA, done with her reign. In court, our case was ironclad. The easement, drone footage, audit, canceled contracts, and engineer reports. Margaret's lawyers spun a tale of misguided volunteers, but the evidence buried them. The jury deliberated 90 minutes. Verdict: guilty on all counts. Damages: $95,000 for economic loss, $60,000 for road restoration, $35,000 for legal fees, $130,000 for punitive damages. $320,000 total. At sentencing, Margaret showed remorse. "I only meant to protect our community," she sniffed. I stood, voice steady. She didn't protect anything. She waged war on my farm because she couldn't stand not owning me. That's not leadership. It's tyranny. The judge sentenced her to 7 years, no parole for 5, plus full restitution. The aftermath was bittersweet. I rebuilt the road, wider, smoother, with a steel gate I control, its sign declaring, "Private easement, court protected. Trespassers will be named and shamed." I started farm tours, drawing families from Pine Hollow and beyond. Emily brought pies, Daniel fixed fences, and a retired nurse, Clara, painted my barn sign. Slowly, Pine Hollow's people became neighbors, not enemies. They formed a volunteer committee, no dues, just a shared toolbox and goodwill. The county took over their roads, and I launched Open Acres with Abigail, offering free legal aid to farmers in similar binds. One dusk, I drove the new road, stopping where bulldozers once roared. I planted a post, hanging a sign I'd carved myself. Carver's Rest Farm, founded 1934, rebuilt 2025, one with blood and a gavel. Pine Hollow folks joined me under the barn's glow, sharing coffee and stories. Clara pointed to the valley, where my pastures met the horizon. "You didn't just save your road," she said. "You reminded us what home means." The fight was over, but its echoes lingered. Farmers from Virginia to Oregon wrote, facing their HOAs. I spoke at a county forum, telling 200 suits in a stuffy hall, land law doesn't guard dirt. It guards the people who pour their lives into it. But only if you fight. They stood, clapping, and I drove home under a sky heavy with stars. The road stretched ahead, black and unbroken, mine forever. What's your take? Have you faced a Margaret in your life, someone who'd rather burn bridges than share them? Drop your thoughts below. Did I overplay my hand? Or was standing firm the only way? Share your stories of fighting injustice or dealing with power gone wrong. Let's talk about what it means to hold your ground.